Hello everybody, how are we doing today? This is the reading for August 2023. We are in August. It is exciting, another month down in the year of 2023. I'm excited to see what this month has in store for us. Before I jump into it, guys, you know what I'm gonna say. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel. It'll be all super helpful for the algorithm and for people to find me, for more people to find me, and share this video I can't speak today. If you know somebody that really does need to hear this reading and see the energies for August 2023. Okay, guys. And also, of course, comments down below if it resonates or it doesn't. Anything, feedback, comments, questions, concerns. Okay, let's jump into it, guys. I have the same 4 decks that I've been using. They feel magical together. It feels like a good fit. I switched up the orders of them. Let's jump right into it, guys. I think you guys know the drill by now, right? Okay, so what do we need? Okay, poised. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So far, so good. We have the poise card, which means that you kind of have everything together, right? But it being under the need slot there, it says that we need to kind of get things together. So I definitely do feel like we're getting things together where we are, like, I definitely want to say like the word organization is coming through. So we're definitely spending the month like really organizing and kind of getting things ready to live our best lives, to be our best selves. So I definitely do feel like if we're not there, you know, if we feel like we're not living our best lives, if we're not necessarily in the best place right now, it's okay, because it's kind of meant to be in that way where we're organizing ourselves to kind of like get there and to launch. Like, it's almost like we're setting ourselves up to launch is like the best way I can kind of say it. So brighter future ahead, brighter things ahead, but you're spending this month really kind of like getting things together for like the fall, because we're going into a new season, obviously, in the following month, right? I live in New York City, so we have seasons, obviously, and this summer has just been so short, in my opinion, because it hasn't been like the best weather, but it's still summer, but fall is around the corner. So I definitely do feel like with the changing of the seasons, changing of the energy, obviously. So I definitely do feel like a lot of good things are definitely coming in the fall. And we're kind of like getting ready for that. And we're starting to get ready for it in August. So that's great. So we're kind of like looking ahead for, you know, the brighter type future. So, and also I feel like this is important to know, Spirit is coming through with this like pretty strongly, is because if things aren't where you want them to be right now, they, you know, just give it like a few more months. Like it's just like basically around the corner in the next season. Action needed, spiritual law of attraction. Okay, wow, that's great. So this is about, makes sense, looking towards the future, what we want to manifest in the future, okay, using the law of attraction. There's not too much to really talk about here. It's pretty straight to the point. That's why I love these Ascended Masters cards. They kind of speed things up a little bit, a little more direct, but what do you want? What do you want to visualize? What do you want to come in for the next season? That's really what we're going to be spending August really marinating on and really manifesting. And that's really what we need to be doing. Pretty simple, guys. So we're kind of like looking, August to me is kind of like, you know, looking to the, you know, the near future, preparing yourselves, preparation, organization, like that kind of thing. What issue will come up though? Let's see. Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Okay, so this is really about not necessarily being adaptable, but this is about really showing off skills that maybe you haven't before. That's the energy that I'm getting for this, is like showing people what you're made of, a different side of you in a way. But it being under issue feels like maybe you're trying to show people like a different side of you, and you're kind of like tapping into that. And it's going to be like a little bit difficult because it's like kind of coming out of your comfort zone. But I definitely do feel like the surprise is the next card, but it's almost like you'll surprise people in a way where you'll kind of like catch them off guard about a different side of yourself. And the issue being that yes, I do feel like there's like this level of acceptance, like of people not accepting this part of you or feeling like it's inauthentic or something. But you have to really, I'm really getting this really strongly intuitively, to tap into a part of yourself that you haven't tapped into before. And the issue could be, yes, other people accepting that about you, and even you accepting it about yourself, but just like being comfortable with that and actually displaying it to the world. So that's very interesting. So a different side of you is definitely coming out in August for sure. And that could obviously be linked to those first two cards there, where you're kind of preparing for the future. So you could be like integrating this new part of yourself. Well, I don't even want to say new, like this other part, the shadow self, I guess I could say, into your personality and who you are in your next season. So definitely do feel like this internal change going on. So this is kind of exciting. So let's see what else comes up. So what is a surprise? Let's tap more into that. Gossip awakens consideration for the feelings of others, honoring trust. Okay, so a lot of people don't see gossip as a positive thing, and let me kind of explain how I see it here. This is about the opposite of gossiping, where you're kind of like, you know, communicating behind somebody's back, or seeing the worst in people, spreading rumors. Like, that's how I feel gossip is. But when it's in the light, it's really about kind of like the opposite. So it's using your communication for positive. And so it being under surprise is almost like that comes as, I don't know, a surprise to you in a way, that your communication skills are getting better, or other people's communication skills are getting better, or maybe you are denying gossip. Maybe you are becoming a little bit more authentic. It makes sense with the shapeshifter, how you're kind of like moving into more of a integrated self, which is the authentic self, right? Because you're both the shadow and the light, right? But I think your communication skills are for most of you guys, is going to surprise you and surprise other people as well. So however that manifests for you, again, put it down in the comments, guys. I'd love to see how like these different things resonate with you guys. It's always super interesting because it's always different for everybody. Challenge, peace. Oh boy, that's not great. I'll just be very honest with you guys. Not great, not great. So definitely it's going to be a challenging time for peace. During the weekly, I did mention peace did come up, like, you know, I believe it came in the important slot down here, where it's important to find emotional, mental, and spiritual peace. It looks like it's a little challenging for the whole month, basically. So it makes sense why it came up in the weekly as something that's really important, something to focus on. So struggling to find peace in some way, this could be all types, meaning environmental peace, you know, finding peace in your home, finding peace out of where you are in life, like that kind of thing. So contentment is another word that kind of comes up here. So that is definitely, you know, that word acceptance is coming up again, like accepting where we are, accepting the things that we cannot change, right? Relinquishing control, like that kind of thing. So I definitely do feel like where we might trip up is us, I kind of want to say the word neurotic, guys, getting kind of neurotic about things in life in general. And I think more of those things will kind of come out because, like I said, it definitely started out really good. So we'll kind of see if anything else like kind of comes up where that might be an example of us like disturbing our peace and that kind of thing. But yeah, let's just say it's just going to be a challenge for us to really kind of find that, and it's going to look differently for everybody. Focus. What do we focus on? Retreat into nature. Okay, pretty straightforward. So definitely spending time in nature, getting outside when you can, grounding, anything, you know, plants, herbs, you know, connecting more with those things this month will be really important. That will definitely help you find more peace. That's definitely in that, you know, going in that general direction, but also too, it could really help up here with like, you know, when you go into nature, you really do feel a little bit more connected. I know we've been getting a lot of cards in the past readings about connecting to like a spiritual practice. Nature could absolutely be part of that, connecting to nature, going for a walk, like that kind of thing. And so that could help us really get clear on what we want to manifest and that kind of thing. So yeah, retreat into nature, guys. Reflect. Mother Earth, feel loved and comforted. Look at that. We have 2 green cards in a row and 2 more grounded cards in a row. And so reflect to me just feels like reflecting on, I would say, things as a whole, how everything is connected, because that's another way that I think of nature is, and that's why we feel so connected when we're in nature, right? Whether, it doesn't matter. I don't care what religion people are. Anybody that goes into nature, it's undeniable that we can all kind of like feel the same thing of that, that unity consciousness basically. And so we could be kind of reflecting on that. So here's what this is telling me, putting these 2 cards together with these 2, cards really pointing towards like more groundedness, more nature, is that the idea that, more unity and the idea that we're all connected. So, and also there's, the world here. How do we, we're focusing and reflecting on how we, how do I say this? I don't want to say legacy because I feel like that's too much, but like, how do we reflect on the world? How do we portray ourselves to the world? How do we not necessarily look to the world, but how are we making the world a better place? How are we, I guess I do want to say humanity, how we're connected to humanity as a whole. So there's a lot of bigger questions kind of coming through this month, it definitely feels like, and how we are, and obviously that goes with the moving to the next season of our life and what we truly want. It's kind of like moving us more towards, what do we want to be doing that is, putting a positive spin, doing something positive for the world at large. Again, I don't want to say legacy too much. I feel like that's like that word is like too big for what's the energy here, but you definitely, obviously there's more intention weaved in here, and you want to be more intentional going forward. So I definitely feel like that's part of it. But I think it's really kind of more about like how you can be the change in the world that you want to see, essentially. So I think you guys kind of get that. So it's a lot of bigger questions. It definitely does feel like a month of really figuring out like who you want to be and how you want to be, and going forward and, the next chapter or the next season of your life. So I'm definitely getting that so far. So let's continue to go forward and see what else we get here. Responsibilities. We have Samaritan, we had Shadow, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. Okay. So you've heard of Good Samaritan. I don't want to say Bad Samaritan. But we do have a responsibility to, and because it's in the shadow, it's kind of saying we're not necessarily doing this. And this is also something that we can reflect on, even though it's in responsibilities, is how are we, again, Good Samaritan is being, well, it's right here. Refine your capacity to help those who others would prefer to ignore. So this is about, if somebody gets a flat tire on the side of the road, and you go help them with the flat tire, you're the Good Samaritan. Or somebody is, stuck in their car and, in a car accident, you pull them out or whatever. This is about doing good deeds, basically, is the best way I can kind of say it. So you kind of have this responsibility to, you're feeling the energy kind of changing. Like it almost feels like the energy is changing this month from, how do I say this? A lot of a lot of things pertaining to self, which is not bad, right? A lot of things happen in the, when we're focusing on ourselves, improving ourselves, growing. Our spirituality is usually a solo journey, but it almost feels like we're graduating to a place where we're moving on to like the next season of our lives of wanting to help other people and connect more with teamwork and community and alliances and that kind of thing, and just like helping the greater good in that way. So I definitely do feel like, especially this row so far is pretty much pointing to that. So I definitely do think that the more, let's put it this way, the more good deeds you do this month, I think the better you're going to feel, and the more it'll pull you into alignment. And I feel like this will naturally happen because, again, I'm reading the energies as they naturally and organically kind of like coming up. So it definitely does feel like this is happening this month. So the more you do stuff like that, the better you're going to feel. So I don't think I have to harp on it too much. Let's move on. Money and finances. And I also put career in here. To the sea. Whew, God, this is great. So this is a card of actual alignment, okay? Because to the sea, the 7 card, which is 7 is the most spiritual number. To the sea means calm shores, basically, going with the flow, like that kind of thing. So money and finances, career, all really great. So what I can say here is that anything that you're worried about this month, as far as like money, career, finances, everything is definitely going to work itself out. Like this is the last thing that you kind of have to worry about right now. Making your bills, for example, all the like just, you know, trust that everything is going to work itself out. You're going to make, you know, you're going to make rent. That thing that you messed up with at work, you know, is not going to cost you your job. Like things that you can kind of like trust, they're going to naturally, you know, work themselves out. So please do not spend any of your energy this month on wondering about like basically the focus should not be money this month, for example. Money, finances, or career. Like it's like basically Spirit is coming through and saying like everything is being taken care of. So this is like, you know, think about like the bigger picture more, like instead of like kind of like the little details is what it's saying. And thinking about like how you can help others and how you can extend your energy out to others, more so about like, you know, like the energy doesn't necessarily support, obviously guys, you have free will, so you can do whatever, you know, and this will be the exception for some people. You know, maybe it's not exactly the month to figure out, you know, how you're going to make more money. I mean, it can be if it has something to do with making the world like a better place. Like I feel like those two go kind of like hand in hand in a way, but everything works itself out. That's like the best way I can kind of say it. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense, guys. I hope that makes sense. So everything is going with the flow with money, finances, and career. And let's just say it's not necessarily the focus of this month or something to really expend your energy thinking about or worrying about. And that could be part of the neuroticism that I'm kind of feeling from this piece. Like give yourself the gift of peace here and like understanding that everything is going to work itself out. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, what can we change here? Fertility. Okay, so fertility is not... So I don't do any pregnancy or, you know, pregnancy predictions or anything like that. But fertility is always about the birth of things. And I love that it's under change. It came under a really good slot. So to me, that means that we're birthing things. We're creating things out of nothing, basically. And that's kind of the change. So I definitely do see new ideas coming through this month, changes being made this month. Just birthing something new. So feeling like this new energy is coming, even if it doesn't, any of these changes or these new things don't come into fruition, which I actually don't expect them to be, because this so far is kind of like more feminine energy, where it's more of the being and the energy of it, right? Where we're feeling like, okay, it's time to plan, it's time to visualize, it's time to not necessarily do things, but really envision how we want our lives to be in our next season. And so this is kind of like the same thing, where it's like, how do I want to birth something new? And that's really the change. It's like really figuring out how you want to birth something new, basically. Okay, friends, we have Arrow. Surround yourself with protective energy. Okay, so this is telling you to protect your energy. Not so great because it's coming under friends. So just have boundaries is the best way I can kind of say it. Protect your energy. If you can't do something, then you can't do something. That might be counterproductive to the Samaritan type responsibilities that we have kind of going on here. But you know the difference between... you know, like an energy vampire and, you know, being a good Samaritan, basically. And another good way to kind of say this is like, instead of maybe like enabling, and, you know, you have to have like boundaries down with the people in your life. You know, because of that energy, because, you know, you're maybe not enabling somebody, then you have the energy to be the Good Samaritan, right? So it's kind of like a shift of energy in a way, but it's kind of like Spirit is just saying, like, don't go overboard, you know, with, you know, people pleasing or over helping. Maybe over helping is not the word, but overdoing it, I will say. Okay, overdoing it with friends that maybe need to kind of like Spirit is showing me like birds flying from a nest, essentially. So it's kind of like letting the birds fly, you know, with their own wings, like that kind of thing. So, and then kind of shifting that energy to maybe more community or people that actually really do need it. So just kind of like shifting the energy there. So just paying attention to what our friend group might need versus, you know, taking energy from you that could really be used towards something of a greater good. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, let's move on. Romantic connection. Okay, we have athlete, but we have it shadow, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability, entitlement. Okay, so what I, don't pay attention to that. I always just like reading them. But athlete to me is extreme willpower and going beyond the limitations that are set for us or the norm, basically. And so being in the shadow, it definitely does feel like we're not, oh God, I kind of want to say like pushing ourselves. Like there needs to be kind of more, like we can give more. So it's interesting too with the friends where it's kind of saying give less and yes, give more as the Good Samaritan to community, to, you know, a group of people that may need it, like that kind of thing. More good deeds. But also it looks like that energy can move into our romantic connections because in our romantic relationships, it seems like we need a lot more stamina, basically, to keep going. So this keep going energy feels like, I kind of want to say like fight harder or don't give up kind of energy, like keep going the marathon. Again, if you guys are in, everybody has free will and they, you know, and intuition. So obviously do what feels good, but it feels like a lot of us, Spirit is asking us to really kind of like go more of the distance. But again, if it's like an abusive relationship or it's, you know, toxic beyond what you're able to handle anymore or whatever, or if it feels right for you to move on, obviously do that. But I do feel like a lot of energy here of like, if you're kind of like on the fence, it feels like Spirit is kind of like giving you a little bit more push. I was actually just talking to a friend last week or 2 weeks ago about how when I'm in romantic relationships, I like to make sure I gave it my all, because when you like walk away, you want to make sure you kind of did everything that you possibly could to salvage it or, you know, do your best, because you don't ever kind of want to ask what if. And that's kind of what Spirit is saying with this. It's like saying like, you kind of have more stamina to like kind of keep going. Like it's not over yet, or like there's more to be done is kind of what I'm getting here. So okay, important. What's important? Yin. Yin is feminine energy. Makes sense. I said I was already getting this feminine type energy of like envisioning this next season of your life, what you want it to look like. Helping others, doing good deeds, to me is definitely more, obviously it's the doing of the good deeds, but which could be masculine, but it's really the empathy, the compassion, that is all feminine, obviously. So it's important that we tap into our feminine energy, which we are, obviously, with those things. Health and wellness, we have meditate, pretty simple, straight to the point. So don't forget to meditate, guys. It looks like, since I didn't get any cards of keeping up with our spiritual practices, which I have gotten in the last, obviously this is part of it, but like obviously meditating could be part of a spiritual practice. It is a spiritual practice, but I didn't get any, you know, making sure to keep up with that. So that means that you guys have been doing that. And so I love that. And so this is just a reminder that, you know, like we're finally like in a habit, and it's finally something that we're committing to like daily or, you know, monthly or weekly or whatever it is. But definitely don't forget to meditate. And that's very feminine energy, right? Because that's about the being. Okay, so overall outcome, we have peacekeeper, let go of the need to be right. Okay, So this is really about relinquishment of ego, which makes sense to me. This is about less doing of, like, less moving in the direction of what we think other people want of us, like the expectations of, even the expectations that we set on ourselves, but the expectations that other people have on you. This is really about connecting to what you truly want to be doing and what you want to be doing for the community and the world at large. So this is really about more bigger picture thinking than, and also more higher self thinking, like connecting more to the higher self, which is the soul. So more soul, less ego. That's really, I mean, I should put that on a t-shirt or a mug because it's so true. It's really kind of what spirituality is kind of all about, and living an aligned life is listening to what feels good to our soul and moving forward. So this is about letting go of the ego, wanting to be right, letting go of our expectations, letting go of the things that we thought that we wanted, and moving into more of the things that feel right for us. More feeling, less thinking. That's another thing I should put on a t-shirt. But overall, it looks like a really good month. I don't know if you guys saw the weekly bleeding, you know, the first week of August didn't look so great, you know, where we really had to concentrate on our spiritual, emotional, and mental health. But I will say here that the month definitely makes a change, definitely. So it looks like the first week is a little rough, but it definitely gets better because it looks like we're trying to birth, you know, that fertility card there, trying to birth something new for sure. And it looks like we're moving in a direction that actually finally feels good to us. So I love it, guys. I love it. Looks like a really good month for you guys. Okay, guys, put any comments down below, resonated, what didn't, you know, that kind of thing. And I'll see you in the next monthly, and I'll obviously see you in the weeklies.